All right, sometimes seeing is better than just trying to follow directions. So here I have gone to classroom.google.com and I am in my Google Classroom. So right on this main page, there are a few things that I want to talk about. Right here on the left at the top, there is a hamburger. That's what Google calls that. And so if you notice here, I have all my classes. I can go, that's almost like your home button. I can go to all these calendars. I have calendars for several classes. Um, I can also, if you look here, here are classes that I'm technically teaching, and then I have enrolled in a couple of classes. So as a teacher, I can enroll in classes, but I can also like own the classes. I have archive classes right here that I can go back to and look at. And the most important thing, I like settings here. I turned off my send email notifications because I don't want to get an email every time somebody turns in an assignment or posts something. So I turn that off. That's a preference that you can make, though, as you notice that. So I'm going to click back here to my home. So that's your top left hand. That's your hamburger menu that kind of takes you to all the different settings within there. The bottom left, there's a question mark, and there are 4 different parts in this. And another important thing to Google Classroom. What's new? Google Classroom has updates all the time. They listen to people and to teachers and saying, what do they need? And so if you notice here, like in May, they came out with all these awesome things. And then in April, they had some things come out. And so you can go back and see, okay, what has Google added since it started in August of 2014? It has improved a lot. And so you can kind of go back and look there. Also in the question mark, there is a send feedback. I have done this personally. There was something I wanted in Google Classroom, and they actually added it. So you can give them feedback and say, hey, this is something that'd be really great. And they listen to those, and they make changes based on it. Also in the question mark, you have ask a question. And this takes you to a Google group of educators. Anybody can get on here that clicks on that little thing. And if somebody has a question, they're like, oh, I know the answer to that, then you can reply to them. So that's a really cool feature to have. If you're having troubles with something, you can get on there and you can say, help me out. And let me add something to this. Because I need somebody to ask, to answer a question for me. And the last thing they have here is a get help. This is Google's kind of step-by-step instruction place that you can go to. And so that's another important thing under that question mark. So that's the bottom left. So we've gone over the hamburger at the top and the bottom left question mark. So let's go over here to the right-hand side. There is a plus sign in here. Since I'm a teacher, I can either join a class or I can create a class. I can join a class. I have teachers who have classes and they're like, hey, well, can you join my class and help me out? Or if I want to have a class, like I've done some online classes, and several schools have done this where they have a Google Classroom for like their faculty meetings where they put all the information there. So that way, if they need to go back to it, they have one place for all their things. So that's kind of a cool thing to do. So you can create a class or you can join a class. Joining a class requires this code, which we'll talk about, but creating a class wants you to set up a name. So at this point, this would be something you may want to discuss with your administration to see how do you want this to look. Because if you think about a student, for you, it's not as big a deal. You might have history, first period history, third period history, fifth period. You might have that, but as a student, they will have 7 or possibly more classes in Google Classroom, especially if they have semester-long classes. And so if there is like a common way that teachers will name their classes, that would be something just really helpful for them. If you want to put first period blank, second period blank, that way the kids, hopefully their classrooms will be organized a little bit better. Those are, again, just things that you may want to talk about with your administration. So I'm just going to make a sample class and hit create. And when you do that, then it takes you into a Google Classroom. So that is just the start of it. And then we're going to come back and I'll do a part 2 video with all the different parts in Google Classroom.